welcome to a new episode of Review. Today we will take a closer look at a Boeing 777-300ER from Garuda Indonesia. But is this aircraft really from Garuda Indonesia? More on that a bit later. As always, we start off with the box, and here we have a cutout so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft inside, and then we do also have the Garuda Indonesia branding. Then on the back side we just have some generic information, a little bit disappointing, especially if you compare the box with the Harper box, but that's what you get from Sky 500. So let's take a closer look at the aircraft model inside. And here she is, the Boeing 777-300ER in the colors of Garuda Indonesia. But as you might rightly already be pointing out, this is definitely not a standard livery of Garuda Indonesia. But how come? We will solve this mystery in just a few seconds, because if we take a look at the vertical stabilizer, we can see here we have the Garuda Indonesia branding, but also kind of elements from a different branding. Now the answer to the question how that can be is pretty much in the registration code of the aircraft, which we have on the fuselage. And we can see that it is a French registered aircraft. We do of course also have the French and the European flag and the aircraft type specification. But how come this is a French registered aircraft when this airline is from Indonesia? Now this aircraft is in fact registered with the French airline Air Austral, which has leased the aircraft at some point to Garuda Indonesia, which has then flown it under their own colors. And that explains this mixture, this fusion of the livery. Now if you move from the back of the aircraft all the way to the front of the aircraft, we can then see here the Garuda Indonesia branding. Underneath the cockpit windows we have the name of the aircraft, and if you take a look at the cockpit windows, you can see here very nicely detailed, including the window wipers. And just next to the cockpit windows we do actually also have the Air Austral branding. The Air Austral branding does also appear on the engine nacelles. And the engines are a proper highlight on this aircraft. They are very nicely made. Here the nacelle, and if we look into the engine, we can see how nicely it's made here, also the fan blades, but also if we look at the back side of the engine, they are indeed very nicely made. But also the wings are very good. Here on the top side we have some very nice details, including the full registration code of the aircraft and the markings for the emergency exits. But also the underside is worth looking at, where we of course also have the full registration code once more. The landing gear is also very nicely made. Here we can see nice markings, including the last 3 letters of the registration code, but also the main landing gear in the middle of the aircraft is really nicely made. Really good is also the stabilizer, where we also have some nice markings on. And then last but not least, we do of course also have the doors to the cargo compartment here in the back side of the aircraft and here in the front side of the aircraft. Now for me this is a very nice aircraft model. It has a nice interesting livery with a good story behind, and the details of the aircraft are really good as well. The physical as well as the printed ones. Now with that we've reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed, feel free to leave a like, that would be very nice, or if you're new around here, why not hit subscribe, that would be absolutely awesome. And don't miss out on the next episode of Review, where we will take a closer look at an Embraer ERJ195 in the colors of Belavia. Now until then I would like to say thank you very much for watching, hope to see you soon again, I'm checking out, and bye.